Hi, Carol.
Hi. How are you?
Okay, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Where are you at in the state?
In Carson, California.
Oh, okay. It's kind of like LA-ish, right?
LA-ish.
Uh-huh.
Just north of Long Beach.
Got it. Okay. Yes. I'm sure I've driven through it.
Yes, through. Unless you come to IKEA. That's our claim to fame.
When did you get started with Young Living?
A year ago.
Oh, cool.
So I'm on my 1 year this month.
Nice. And how do you know Kiana?
Yes. Kiana is my bestest friend.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. She is.
I love that she's building and she's got friends and family and aunts. All of
Her
that.
mom is here.
Awesome. Yay.
Wait, have you guys met Carol? Have you met my mom? No, huh? She's Danielle. She's the one in the car.
Hi, Mom. You got an awesome daughter. You did good.
Thank you. Something I did good.
I'm sure you did more than just.
And then Marvel. I don't know where Leia is. Who else are we missing? LaDawn.
Maribel's here.
Huh?
Maribel's here. Maribel's here.
And Mayanne. Hi. Hold on. My mom fell off. Okay. Let me.
Kara or Kara?
Kara.
Kara.
Hi.
Yeah.
I always have to ask, right?
It's
What
Kara.
do most people say, Kara or Kara?
Yes, they get it wrong all the time, but it's Kara.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
Whereabouts are you? Are you also in the LA area?
I am like South Bay, so I'm borderline of Torrance and Gardena.
Okay.
I forget you're so close to me, Carla.
Yeah, I'm close to you, but like kind of like you're further south.
Like
LA
one
is
city.
Same thing, exactly.
Okay, so I'm just texting people the Zoom link just in case they somehow, you know how that goes. So we'll give them like 1 more minute.
Sure.
Is that okay?
No problem. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Where are you?
So, Cara, when did you get started?
I'm new. I just kind of got started, but Kiana's awesome. So like I didn't start. I was just ordering stuff through her because my son wasn't feeling well. And then I went to one of her classes. And after that, it was, okay, how do I do this? That's how that. So I'm fairly new.
Great. Well, welcome.
Thanks.
Okay, so Leia just hopped on. And I don't know where Belinda and LaDawn are, but you know, I'm sure they'll jump on when they can. Belinda is a new mom. She has a little one, and he actually wasn't feeling too good today, so she might be dealing with him and he had a little bit of a fever. So yeah, I'm sure she'll hop on if she can.
Sounds good.
Okay. So
no worries.
Do you want me to how do you want to do this?
I don't know. We're casual here. Nothing special. Weird.
Colette
Weird to chat and talk.
Oh.
What'd you say?
Well, you know.
Leia's new name is Colette Abdel Badri.
You know what it is? Let me tell you something. Having to change their names every single time they log on Zoom, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to put your names on here. I'm like, done. Oh,
you
sorry.
Get to change it back.
I do. Hi, Carol.
Hi, Leah. Nice to finally meet you.
I know. Well, we've talked like several times like over the years, and you know, remember Kelly?
Yeah.
Okay, she's the one. Yeah, she's the one that I would order from, and I remember I would order through you, and I sent my sister-in-law, and I sent Kiana over to you.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, Leah was was connected to me. I used to teach hypnobirthing, and one of my hypnobirthing moms is friends with, is it Leah or Leah?
Leah. Yeah.
Okay. And so this gal, Kelly, didn't want to do the business, was just ordering, and she's like, I don't know, like my friend wants to buy stuff. And so Leah and I have been like we had been contacting each other for years. And then Kelly would be like, okay, my friend like wants to maybe do the business, or like wants to order, and then we'd like connect again. And then I think, did you sign up?
No.
You never signed up.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. But you know what I did though,
ridiculous.
is I would share the oils.
Yeah.
I shared them, and then Kiana was one of them. And then so I sent Kiana, my sister-in-law, and I forget who else. There's somebody else I sent, like several people I sent over to you over the years, because I just didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm not doing the business. But this gal, oh my gosh, she's amazing, Carol. Because you had, at that point, I think you had just bought even the scanner, the iToby.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then so you were telling me about that, and then you were actually supposed to do a class here at my house with the iToby scanner.
What happened?
I didn't have enough people, I think.
Oh, okay.
And so we just didn't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Kiana signed up.
Mm-hmm.
And then she started doing the business.
Mm-hmm. And then
she got you, and then I saw your name, and I was like, oh, you finally got her signed up. Well done.
Yeah. Well, you know, I already knew Kiana was going to be amazing at this, because she is so, right, Banshee, like you, and all of you know, like Kiana is so amazing with the health and wellness part anyway. And then just being able to retain the information, and as a teacher and as leader, I knew she was going to do amazing. So I'm just glad that she's pulled all of us together, finally.
Finally.
Yes.
And so much fun too.
It is.
Because we all get to talk to each other more than we normally would if we weren't doing this together. So we've gotten so much closer because we're doing this together, which is nice. Even my family, like my cousin LaDawn just joined. I talk to her all the time now. Yeah. And so, it's a lot of fun, but now it's getting a little serious. Like, we know everybody is like ranking up and, doing amazing things. And I'm like, okay, how do we keep doing what we're doing, or do we, strategize more? Do we get more organized? Like, at what point were you in your business when you were like, okay, I gotta, not that, you weren't already treating it as a business, but like maybe having to do things a little bit differently in order to sustain your momentum and your growth?
Yeah, so I did it totally wrong. So if I can get to the top rank and do it completely wrong, then you guys can anybody can do this, really. So when I started, it'll be 7 years in October, so almost 7 years ago. Everything was mainly on social media, because so we're in like this family. Our team is like, our business group is the distillery. Our team is called Hello Essentials. We're underneath a bigger umbrella that you might not know of that's called the Lemon Droppers. And so like, it's like so long ago that you guys don't even probably know.
I remember.
You remember, yeah. So before the Lemon Droppers came along, which is like 2-3 people above me. So not my enroller, not her enroller, and the person above her created the Lemon Droppers. Before the Lemon Droppers started, Young Living had been around for 18 years. The average age of distributor was 56. They were totally like mom and pop shop. It was completely like really MLM-y, like if anyone was even doing the business, it was let's sit down and write down the 50 people that are go-getters, and we're gonna like talk to them. So people just weren't, they were sharing here and there, but there really wasn't like a super focused business kind of thing going on. It was just like scattered here and there. people weren't really like ranking up. Then the Lemon Droppers came along, so that's Monique McLean and Lindsay Moreno. And they knew each other through a scrapbooking store. And Lindsay's forte was photography. She had a photography blog. And Monique's forte was like knowing like structure and all of that. And what they realized was twofold. Well, several points. No one was marketing to young moms. And no one was using social media to market. And anything that was on social media, it was full on like grandma, like cursive-y, like really MLM-y looking like content. And so what they decided was, we're gonna start marketing with like fresh, modern, bright colors, and like we're gonna just know that our target market is young moms. And so they started churning out graphics for their team. And so that was something unlike anything Young Living had ever seen before. And the other part of what the Lemon Droppers did was they shared everything with their team. Like there was really, like you could buy like Lemon Dropper books, like, you know, like our lookbook. But for the most part, they provided graphics and information for free for the team. And their whole way of running the business was the more that we share with each other, whether we're in our downline and we're going to benefit from each other, or we're sharing crossline, if we're helping the Lemon Droppers do well, that's just going to help the pie get bigger. Like instead of thinking like there's a finite piece of pie, like there's just one piece of pie, and if we keep chiseling away at it, there's never going to be enough for everyone. And so what they totally threw things completely different in the whole mindset of Young Living, of like, there's going to be an infinite amount of pie. Like the whole world is the pie, right? And like there's an infinite number of people that we can potentially reach. So when I started social media, it was just blowing up. Not many people had heard of Young Living. doTERRA was the big oil on the scene. They were corporate people that used to work at Young Living that actually left Young Living. And they left Young Living, took some of the, you know, the blends and renamed them and whatever. But what they knew about Young Living was that our marketing sucked. That like, we didn't have a marketing team. We weren't doing anything with marketing. So doTERRA left and killed it in the marketing. Like their bottles were modern, their marketing was on point. So when the Lemon Droppers came on board, people were like, what the heck, who is this Young Living? Where did they even come from? And so there were a lot of doTERRA people that I knew that I switched over, but a lot of people had never heard of even essential oils at that point, right? So fast forward to now, we're like, essential oils is everywhere, right? Like it's in the Glade plugins, it's at Costco, it's at Target in the dollar bin, right? So when I started the business, it was a lot of share the story, share my success story, and a lot of follow through, building relationships privately in PMs. What I did wrong, so to answer Kiana's question, like at what point do you like start doing things differently? What I did wrong was I just built and assumed everyone was my color personality. So do you guys all know what your color personalities are? Nia, what's your color? Oh.
I think mine was like, oh gosh, I forgot now. Kiana would remember. See, that's the part where I like rely on Kiana because she remembers and I don't. What was my color scheme?
Yellow and then red, I think.
I know we were similar on something. Was it the red that we were similar on?
Yes.
Okay,
Kiana,
so
you're red,
I was,
right?
yes. So red was like my second, but dominant yellow.
Uh-huh, okay. And Kiana, you're red, right, first?
It changes every time I take the test. Is that normal? I feel like
yeah, it does. So
yeah, blue has never been at the top. It's always goes between yellow. Yeah, well, no, green is never. I don't remember. I'm telling you, it just goes all over the place.
Okay, so there's a website. I'll put it in the chat. Jacob Adamo has this color personality test that you can take for free. So I'm a red, and a red person is a go-getter. Like once they commit, they're just gonna do it, blinders on, just get that crap done. Like not gonna let anything get in your way. But a red person does not, don't prefer to do Zooms. I prefer to just text. I don't prefer to like actually talk on the phone because I'm like, just get to the point. What do you need? Like, let's get this done. Like, I gotta move on. I've got things to do. Let's get moving, right? And so I ran my business as a red and assumed everyone else was a red because I just wasn't aware of color personalities until I got to Royal Crown Diamond, and then I did some personal development. I was like, oh my God, I totally just like did this completely wrong. So I assumed everyone was red, was self-motivated, I could just put them in the distillery, put them in Hello Essentials, they would learn on their own, they would find the resources. And I'd have all these people that would be like, yeah, I want to do the business. And I'd be like, okay, here you go. Here's the distillery. Here's Hello Essentials. Here's all this stuff. And then they wouldn't do anything. And I'd check in with them here and there and then be like, oh, you know, like, I don't know what to do. And then I'd be like, okay, we'll do this, this, and this, and this. What aren't you doing? Do this and this and this. And they'd be like, okay. And then they wouldn't follow through, right? And so I ran my business as a red, not being aware of any other colors. And so what I want to recommend for you guys, since you're starting out and you're a really good place to learn this, is learn your color, but also know how to talk to the other colors. Because when I'm a red, the majority of Young Living is yellow. Yellows love relationships. They love to help people. They love to talk and like connect and talk on the phone, and you know, they love to like come and help and be the helper at the event and bring stuff and help. They're the ones that stay afterwards and clean up, but they love that connection piece of it, right? And as a red, that's not my thing. My thing is like, boom, 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 let's get this done, move on. Okay, next. So if I'm running my business as a red, but the majority of Young Living people are yellow, how am I gonna come across? Like a bitch, right?
I was gonna
Not
say,
good. People are going to be like, oh, that Carol, like she's just in it for herself. She just wants to build the business. Like she doesn't care about me, right? I did care about them, but I was just like, can't you figure it out? Because I had no clue about colors. And so when you are talking to an interested person and inviting them to your class or your online workshop or whatever, try and figure out what personality are they? Are they a yellow where they want that relationship? Are they a red where they're just like, you know, get the information? Greens are super like, they want the knowledge, they want the details, they want like the encyclopedia, they want to know all the things of all the oils, right? And then the blues are the ones that want to have fun. And I'm like 1% blue if I even have like a percentage. Like, so I'm not like the fun one, right? But if I'm talking to someone who's blue, if I'm talking in a red tone, they're going to be like, well, that doesn't sound fun at all. Like, I don't want to go to her class because like it just sounds like she's just going to be like talking at me, and I want to like go and have fun, right? So if you're talking to a red person, you want to talk about like, yeah, we're going to have this great class and we're going to have fun and we're going to learn, but we're mostly just going to like chat and get together and hang out and have fun. Learn it about oils, learn it about non-toxic products, or like whatever it is, right? If you're talking to a yellow, you're gonna wanna invite them and be like, gosh, I can't wait to see you. It's been so long. And I would just love for you to come and hang out with us, because I think, you know, I don't even think you'll care about like what the content is, but like the ladies that we're gonna hang out with, they're super awesome, and I just want you to meet them, right? And so like you got to cater that to each individual person, and then as you get business people, it's really important to be mindful of what their color is as well, because you want to interact with them in a way that draws them in, that's familiar to them. So as you get people underneath you, I really encourage you to do that. But I also encourage you, because I was so red, I was like, I'm doing this. And yeah, I had my leaders, right? And I would check in with them, but I was like, this is all me. And I wasn't linking arms with them and saying, let's do this together. So I've already told Kiana, like, as you're building, like, find those people and like create your community and find those leaders that are ready to run and build, and work with them to create like the things so that you're not the only one. Like, it's not all on your shoulders, because it's going to burn you out big time really, really quickly. But if you have a crew of people where you delegate stuff, so as a red, it's really hard to delegate, because like you just know, like, if I do it, I'll get it done. I'll get it done faster. I'll get it done the way I want it. If I give it to someone, that's probably going to mean like I have to tell them like 5 times how to do it, and they probably won't do it the way that I like it. You know, it requires a lot of like letting go and just like being okay with the process and whatever the outcome is, right? But by doing that, by delegating, you're also empowering your up and coming leaders. You're also edifying them to their downline, because the more that you can pull your leaders up with you and have them with you, then their downline's like, oh, wow, you know, Kiana's like bringing Leah up and like doing these things with like all of her team, and those ladies are, you know, doing things together. Like, that sounds so cool. Like, I want to be a part of like that special club, right? So I didn't do any of that, and I lost probably a lot of potential business people along the way, because I was not pouring into them the way that I could have. I was just like pouring into them as a red, which the majority of them weren't red. So I encourage you, like, even if you just have like a toe in the business side, think about like, what can I contribute? What's my talent? What's my passion of sharing, of knowing that I want to sort of do this business, or if you're full on like in it, like, think about like, what can I contribute to this team? And then talk to Kiana about it and like strategize and start creating like that core group of you ladies that are going to like run this thing and like grow it and kill it, right? And as you keep growing, you'll add some more leaders and add some more people, but like, you'll have this like core group of you that started from the beginning, where you locked arms and you knew that like, I can count on this person, this person, this person, and we're gonna like create just the most amazing team, community, and feeling that everybody that you talk to about the oils or the business, once they get in your community, that they're going to be like, whoa, this is the coolest thing ever, and these ladies rock, and I want to be a part of this. And so I think that that's where things have shifted. Before, you could just build to Royal Crown, not all by yourself, but like doing it just on social media and doing the majority of the work and helping your leaders of your legs. But I think nowadays, like, because oils are everywhere, it's the community piece of it that is the thing that makes it different. If you have a community, which even with Hello Essentials, right? And then Marceline has Hello Oily. And then, I don't know, Kiana, if you even have a group, like, you probably don't, yeah. But like, you know, the things that not all teams have that, right? Like not all teams have a Hello Essentials or have what Marceline created or even have what Kiana has created. There are people out there that are literally building this business by themselves and they don't know their upline. They were just placed, or maybe they know their upline, but their upline's not doing the business, and the people above them, they've maybe reached out, but you know, they're not really helping. And so like the difference is our team is so supportive, right? Like it's not like any kind of job that I've ever experienced, because the more that we share and learn from each other about like, oh, I sold a kit and I did this. And then that triggers me to be like, oh, I never thought of that. Maybe I'll try that, right? Most places would be like, I'm not telling anybody else about what I did to get that kit because I don't want to give my secrets away, right? But with our team, like that's the culture that we wanted to create. That's the culture that the Lemon Droppers created of let's share, let's build, and if we can help someone over there that isn't even on my team, that's cross-line to me, if I can help them do something and build their team, that just helps Young Living get better, right? Get more exposure. So that's a really long answer, but that's the answer about like what to do differently or from what you're doing now. It sounds like you're already doing that though, but I would just kind of strengthen that idea of like creating that community and finding those leaders within your group, but even for those that aren't like full on in the business, like if you have something to contribute to the team, maybe you're good at organizing stuff, maybe you're good at researching stuff, maybe you're good at figuring out all the ins and outs of Facebook and how the algorithms work so that like when you guys do posts in your group, it gets better, you know, visibility. Maybe you're good at writing copy for posts or promos or something, but like figure out what that is and contribute that to your team.
Oh, I already know. I already have jobs listed for people. I'm like, oh, I know who would be good at this. So that's great advice. Like having that core group and the team contributions, because like you said, being a red, I feel like I am trying to do it all and I don't need to. I don't have to do it all.
You don't need to.
When you first started, you were you started with Stacy, right? Is that like the two of you locked arms? But then how did you build your team from there? Like, how do you, I mean, because the only way you can grow in this business is to have other people do it with you. How did you inspire people to want to do the business with you? Was it something that they just figured out on their own? Like, I feel like I kind of did. Once I realized how well they worked, and because health and wellness was already a passion of mine, I'm like, oh my God, I am doing this.
Right.
But for other people, like, how do you, you know, you always invite people? For, you know, like, I know, like, that's not my personality. I'm like, look, and people will bring up the business. I'm like, I didn't even bring up the business. Why are you bringing up the business? Like, I don't have time to do the business. I'm like, I didn't ask you to do the business. So, like, how did you get that team? Because it's not going to happen without a team.
Yeah. So my first post was about the allergy trio. It was back when you could, like, really talk openly. And Stacy was a hypnobirthing client of mine, Stacy Malkus. And she signed up and was, and so I knew my kids when I started were 7 and 9. When she got her kit, her daughter, Brooklyn, was like 2.5. And I knew she was really well connected in the Waldorf community, in like the natural wellness, like natural mommy kind of community, which I wasn't a part of much because my kids were older, right? So I knew, like, if I can get this girl in, that will get a big chunk of that population that, like, I'm not gonna reach. And so I asked her straight out, like, would you wanna do the business with me? Because I'm starting this right now. And she was like, oh, hell no. Like, I don't have time for that. She was, you know, she took maternity leave. She used to run a website development company and gave that to someone while she was on maternity leave, and then basically took like extended maternity leave. And she because she had her kid in Waldorf school, like they don't use technology. So like there's no TV, there's no iPad, there's no phone, there's like nothing. And so she's like, I've got my hands full with my kid. I don't have 5 minutes to spare. And I was like, okay, well, didn't hurt to ask. But then I kept in touch with her, and she had success with lavender. Her daughter, Brooklyn, was not taking naps. She put lavender. She asked me, like, what can I do? And I was like, put lavender on her feet before nap time, put her socks on, and then see what happens. Because I had learned that in the product education group that the lemon droppers had had. And she contacted me afterwards, and she's like, holy crap, like Brooklyn just slept 2.5 hours. Like she's not taken a nap for a year. And I was like, that's amazing. You should post about that. And she's like, why would I post about that? And I was like, because you have friends that I'm sure have kids that are going through a nap strike just like you. And she's like, oh, you are right. Like, I do have friends. And she's like, but I don't want to do the business. And I was like, you're not doing the business. Just post about it, and I will watch the post, and I will answer the questions, and I'll give you the answers. And so she posted about it. And like I said, it was back when like oils were not a thing. And so everyone was just like, what the heck? Oh my gosh, I need it. What is it? Blah, 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 right? And I told her, like, all these people, like, I'm happy to help them, and I will get a $50 commission, and I'm happy to split that with you. Or if you want to keep the $50 to yourself, you can sell the kit. And she's like, all right, well, I'm not doing the business. And I was like, oh, wink, wink, right? And so she sold so many kits, and then those people shared, and those people started selling kits, that it was like, she was like, I'm not gonna like do this because I have an opportunity to make money. And so even though she swore up and down she didn't have 5 minutes to spare, she found the time, right? Because it became apparent to her that this was worth her time. So I have often gotten people to do the business without knowing they're doing business, because I follow up. Even though I'm red, I still follow up, right? And I keep that conversation going. Like, what are you using? What do you still have issues with? What's a great success that you've had so far? And when they have that aha moment, when they have that success, I will ask them, like, why don't you share that on social media? Like, your friends should, like, let me help you write it so that it's like FDA compliant. But like, I bet your friends would be so stoked to know that, like, the headaches and migraines that you've had for 5 years are now gone, or, whatever it is. And so I will tell them post, and that I'll keep a track of, the comments, and I'll help them answer any questions, and that they could potentially get a $50 thank you check just for sharing, and helping a friend. So also helps to know their color, right? But the majority of people are yellow. So knowing and highlighting, like, you could help a friend by just sharing your story. Not many people, reds are money motivated. Stacy's a red. So the $50, losing $50 or losing $25 to her, she was like, what? I'm not gonna like give that to you. But most people are yellow. So just knowing that they're helping somebody and solving a problem for them can often be that little momentum piece that gets them to do the business. The other thing that has shifted from when I started to now, so when I started, we never talked about the business. Like, I only asked Stacy because I knew, like, she had a big network. But everybody else I didn't ever ask. We were taught, like, never talk about the business. Just get them to love and fall in love with their products, and then organically they will want to share, encourage them to share, and then organically they start the business, right? But things have shifted now that I think these days almost everybody wants some kind of side hustle. They want to do something for that plan B income. And I think especially since COVID hit, it's become even more apparent that like, you probably kind of want to have something on the side just in case, because you never know what might happen. And so, you know, if you know people that are struggling financially, I have reached out to those people directly and just been like, hey, I know that you are having a hard time. And I know that you're loving your products. Let's like see what we can do by you sharing. Like, I'll help you with the class. Like, invite all of the people that you know, and I will do the class for you. And you can keep all of the money because I know that you're struggling. And I want to help you get some kind of consistent income so that you don't have to struggle so much. So like, you want to do that? Like, let's do this, you know? And so like inviting people that way, but letting them know that like, you're going to do the work, you're going to help them, you're going to do like the initial stuff, and that they can just like link arms with you and be there, but that they don't technically have to do the business right off the bat. You're doing the business for them and helping them see. And then hopefully once they're in that class or workshop, whatever you want to call it, they're going to see like, that is so easy. Like, she literally like read off a post. Like that was not hard. It's not, you know, it's not like you have to be like a walking encyclopedia, right? Like, you can just like copy a template and copy and paste and then like occasionally comment or whatever, right? So I think that that to get business people, you gotta see what the person's problem is, and you have to be the solution finder for them. So if you know that they have a financial issue, or they have a huge amount of debt, you know, having a side hustle that is also bringing in health and wellness products for them and helping others get health and wellness products, especially now, right? Like, we are going into the cold and flu season. Everybody needs to have thieves oil in their house and thieves household cleaner in their house, right? Bottom line, like, every single person should have that. Diffusing every day. So why not have those people share with their people about that?
I had a question and I forgot. Had something to do with teaching classes. I had someone who was initially interested in doing the business, and she was, you know, joining in on our classes and was really excited and motivated, but then kind of fell off for a few reasons. But one of which, she said that her friends, you know, she would invite her friends to the classes that we were already having, but they were like, yeah, but let me know when you're teaching a class, which she doesn't, you know, wasn't feel comfortable with. So for those people who are on the call who aren't comfortable with teaching classes, and they don't have people who want to join a class that they're not teaching, what do you do? What are some options for people like that?
So if you're newish to the business and you don't feel comfortable doing a whole class, what part of a class can you teach, right? Maybe you can do the lead-in of like, hey everyone, we're here to learn about blah, 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 ginger red because it's an antioxidant. Like, maybe you're the lead-in, and then you pass the baton to Kiana or whoever, but you're teaching the class because you started it. And you invited everyone, and you're acknowledging like all the people, and then you can like jump in here and there and comment, but that you're like the one actually hosting the class. Maybe if you're teaching, you know, like a premium starter kit class, you do the intro and you pick like 3 or 4 oils that you talk about and break it up. But then you can still say you're teaching the class, right? Like, it's not like you're lying. Like, you're teaching a class. You just might not be teaching the whole class. But why would, you know, it's boring to just have one person teach a whole class. If you've got a couple different people contributing, that makes it a little bit more engaging and fun and different personalities, right? So maybe that's a workaround to get her involved a little bit in the teaching part of it, so she can say, okay, I'm teaching a class, come join us. And she maybe teaches the majority of it. Or even she could have her notes, right? She could have the template parts like printed out, and she could literally read them and just show her friends, like, this is not rocket science, people. Like, it's me reading from my notes over here. So that might help her feel more confident if she has content that she doesn't have to memorize too.
Is there anything that you would say that you did consistently without fail that helped you grow? I mean, you grew like faster than like most people in the company, right? Like,
yeah, I was pretty fast.
Did you break a record? Like, whose record?
No, I didn't break a record. I got to Royal in 27 months, so people got there way faster. I would not recommend growing that fast because I sacrificed sleep, I sacrificed friendships, I sacrificed time with my family. My marriage, definitely, we had to work on that after I got to Royal Crown. So I wouldn't recommend, not sleeping and doing all that. But I knew it was gonna be worth it and I wasn't gonna have to do it for the rest of my life. I knew that it was a short period of time. I gave myself like 2-3 years, right? And I hit the top rank in 27 months. But I knew if I give up 2.5 years, maybe 3, because I wasn't exactly sure when I was going to hit, and the momentum that I was going to get and the long-term outcome of me hitting Royal Crown Diamond and the life changes that would occur by us being Royal Crown Diamonds, that was worth not sleeping. That was worth having marital tension. It wasn't like we were going to get divorced, but like we definitely weren't like connected really very well. But I knew that the momentum that I was going and growing at that time, that I needed to keep going and keep that momentum growing and not stop until I got to where I wanted to get to. What was your question again?
So I was basically saying, like, what were you doing
consistently?
Right. What was it? Classes? Was it posting on social media? Was it a combination? It's like there's so many hats you have to wear, whether it's, working with your team, doing your own posts, teaching your own classes. What was it? What was like, I know everybody has their own secret sauce or whatever they always call it. But,
I definitely posted about some kind of Young Living something once every 4 or 5 posts on social media. And that's still kind of the same formula that we recommend. It's like, you want to post something, a success story, or something about what makes Young Living different, because nowadays that is really the key thing that people need to understand, is like our seed to seal, our farms, like all of that. And then in between that is other content that's not related to Young Living that is valuable content. It doesn't just mean post a blog post link, post a meme, post a funny cat video. Like, it's in between that Young Living post, the 4 or 5 posts that you do, especially now with social media being such a huge thing. The thing that I'm learning now is everything that you put on your social media should give value. Like, of course you're going to put your kids, like I put my kids' first day of school. That's not valuable to anybody other than me and like my family members, right? That are looking at it, and my friends that know our kids. But everything else besides that, I'm thinking about what value is this to my audience? What am I giving to the people that are going to look at this, so that they are drawn to continue to follow me, right? So whether you have 20 followers or 2,000 followers or whatever, you want to always kind of think about the value that you're giving to your people, and you want to also think about who your target market is. Like, figure out that one person that your target person is, and like cater your post to talk to her. So this is something that I learned from Jasmine Starr. She's on Instagram, and she's an Instagram kind of social media specialist, and she gives so many tips and tricks on her Instagram for free. But she says, find that one person and speak as if you're having a conversation with that one person every time you're posting. So my one person is someone like me, 50 years old, with kids that are teenagers, that are getting close to that like empty nest phase, that are health conscious but want to be more health conscious, that may not know about greenwashing and toxic overload and bioaccumulation. And I love to educate people. So I do my best that when I'm posting about Young Living or other stuff, that it's all, I do my best to do educational, focused kinds of things, so that I'm hopefully helping people be like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay, good. And that it's not just like me selling Young Living, that it's me educating people about like, what does fragrance really mean? You know, what does bioaccumulation, why don't you want bioaccumulation to happen? What, like the things I like, crystals and oils, like, you know, things about that. So, but the things that I did consistently for all the 7 years was that 1 to 4 or 5 ratio of sharing. Every business person that I personally enrolled, I did my best to do their first class for them, whether that was in person or on a Zoom where that person invited all their people. When I did a post, the algorithm for Facebook, and even Instagram now, is the more that you comment on your comments, the better. So with Facebook, when someone comments, if you click reply and it's like, you know, slightly indented where your comment is, that's not how you want to respond. You want to go to the bottom of all of the comments, tag that person. So let's say like Kiana commented and was like, oh yeah, I love, you know, Thieves Cleaner because of blah, blah, but, or whatever. I would go to the very bottom of the, like where there's no comments, and in the comment, not in a reply back, I would tag Kiana, at Kiana Berg, and I'd be like, yeah, isn't it awesome that like it doesn't leave a residue? Then the next person, at blah, blah. And so every time you do that, when you comment back, not reply back, it bumps your post up to the top of the newsfeed for all of your Facebook friends. So whoever didn't see it the first round will hopefully see it the second round, the third round, every time that you comment, right? Plus, every time that you comment, you're engaging that person again into a conversation, right? And you're connecting and building that relationship with that, hopefully, the people that aren't using oils. And the one trick that we did, that we learned like when we were lemon droppers, was like, if someone asks you a question, don't answer it in the comments. Tag the person and be like, oh, you know, Cara, I'm gonna PM you. And then PM Cara and be like, oh, about that post, like, yada, 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 here's this, that, the other. Hey, I've got this like product education group that I can add you to, that I've been learning just so much stuff from. Like, what kind of issues do you have that I might be able to like direct you to like knowing what kind of products might be helpful for you? And would you want to go in this group because there's like blank many people in there and it's only like product education. So like you would be learning from like what everybody else is using, right? So I would have that private conversation and go deeper into the conversation with that person. But in the post, I'm saying, I'm going to PM you. That bumps it back up, right? More people are going to see it. And anybody that's even slightly interested is going to be like, well, hey, that person got the secret. I don't know what the secret is, right? Oh, like when you say I'm going to PM you, it leaves that mystery there for the next person that wants to know the answer. And they have to comment if they want the answer. If you just blab it out in the comment section, then anybody's going to read it. And then you're not going to have any knowledge that those other people were interested. So that's another trick that we learned that I still do.
Yeah.
Keep them coming. I'm loving what you're saying.
Oh, good.
A couple months ago, and I was like scrolling through to see what the answer was, and you said PM me. I'm like, what?
Yeah. It's a lot of work. Like I did that with like a trick that we learned to like get through the line of the DMV and like get our real IDs in like 20 minutes. But I had like 150 or something people be like, I want it. And so I was like, my hand was killing me, but that kept bumping it up. And that also engaged all these people that weren't Young Living people because they wanted the DMV secret. So then now my posts are showing up in their newsfeed more, right? So like you gotta like think about like those things. What can I contribute and give people? I can give them the secret for the DMV, but I'm not gonna give them the secret. They have to contact me, right? They gotta PM me, then I'm gonna PM it, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. But I did the yep, okay, you know, and I did that. So that is a good way to get the engagement going. And then in the side conversation, you're building that relationship, right? You're finding out like, what did that person already use for that issue? Like, what do they need Young Living products for? Like, what problems can you solve for them? You're constantly thinking, what problem can I solve for them? Because that is the key. If you can solve their problem, they will be a customer for life. If you can solve 2 of their problems, then they really will love you. Are you gonna say, Kiana?
Yes, I wanted to ask you about Yvonne, because your sister, who I adore. There's a lot of us on here that our family members are also members with Young Living, but they haven't jumped on board the way we have quite yet. And I know Yvonne talks about how she could kick herself because for taking so long to get on board with you while you were like, I'm doing this.
Yes.
Can you touch on that a little bit? And then I feel like I'm taking up all the questions. So if anybody has questions, type them in the chat, do something. I don't want to keep asking questions, but there were certain things I had in my brain that I wanted you to cover because I know Yvonne, I think you had already reached, I think, Royal Crown before she started the business. Am I wrong?
No,
I don't know.
I think it was maybe platinum, gold or platinum or something. One more tip before I get to Yvonne. So when I post, I also look at who liked that post. And if there's anybody that has not signed up, I will PM them and say, hey, so-and-so, I saw that you liked my post about thieves oil and diffuser and how you can keep, you know, the air clean during the cold and flu season, whatever. You know, I see that you liked that post. I'm wondering if you'd like to learn more information. I've got this great product education group. And the great thing about Hello Essentials and what Marceline has created with Hello Oil, whatever her product thing is, the great thing about the product education group is it's free advertising, right? There's that many people in the group sharing constant positive success story, so that you don't have to sell. They're selling it for you, right? So the more people that you can get into your product education group, the better. And so every time I got someone in the product education group, I would find out what their issues were. I would spend 5-10 minutes searching that group for 3 posts that had really good testimonials. A post with lots of comments of people saying, oh yeah, that worked for me. Oh yeah, that worked for me. Or here's the blend that I use. Here's what I did a little differently. And I would tag that person on those 3 posts. If they had 3 issues, I would find 3 posts for each issue and tag them. And then I would PM them back and say, hey, so-and-so, just so you know, I tagged you on a bunch of posts in Hello Essentials so that you can know about headaches, fibromyalgia, blah, 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 right? Yes, you can copy and post my posts, but when you copy and post my posts, LaDon, make it your own. Take whatever I write and edit it so that it sounds like you. Because when your friends read, if you just copy and post what I wrote as yours, your friends are gonna read it and they're gonna be like, that doesn't sound like LaDon, what the heck, right? So like switch the wording around, switch some sentences around so that it sounds like you're talking to your friends. But yes, any post that I do, feel free to copy it and use it for your own inspiration or, you know, for your own post. But I did that like thing and I got a lot of people into Hello Essentials, and that was key because that got them seeing that it wasn't just me saying oils are amazing, right? There were 35,000 people in Hello Essentials that like know that oils are amazing. So I highly recommend that. And then I'm not organized, so I'm red and my second color is green, but I'm the green part that researches stuff. I'm not the green that's organized. So greens sometimes tend to be like super OCD and really good at spreadsheets and really good at numbers, like that part. I'm not that part green. But I do recommend that you find a way to keep track of who you're adding in the groups. Who are the interested people that you're engaging with and having PMs with on the side? It might seem like you will remember it because if you're just starting, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I'm only talking to like 3 people. But at some point, it's going to ramp up and you're not going to remember every single person that you started a conversation with or every person that you added into the product education group or what their issues are. So like another trick is you get the person in Hello Essentials or your product education group, right? You started that side conversation. You've tagged them on the posts that have to do with their issues. They're still not buying. They've gone radio silent. And then you're like, well, now what, right? You go back, you find their issue, you go do a search in the product education group, you find a newer post or a different post that you haven't tagged them on. And then you PM them and say like, hey, LaDon, like, I haven't heard from you in a while. I don't know if you've been paying attention in the product education group, but I just came across this really great post about migraines. And I know that you were talking about migraines, that your daughter was having really bad migraines. And I just thought like, this might be helpful. So I just wanted you to know I tagged you on that. Make sure you go and see it, right? So that way you're showing that person like, yes, you're trying to get them to engage and buy something, right? But like you're also giving value by showing them like, hey, there's something that might help you. Read this. It might be the solution to your problem. Instead of you just contacting them and being like, hey, there's a sale. Hey, there's a diffuser on sale. Hey, like blah, blah, right? Like you want them to know like you're thinking about them, not just for the sale, that you're thinking of them because you found a post that has to do with their problem and you want to help them. LaDon says, I heard someone recently say, if you're going to be a copycat, make sure you're copying the right cat. Well, thanks. I guess I'm right cat. Yeah. Yeah, copy whatever you want of mine. Okay, so let's talk about Yvonne. So Yvonne is my older sister. She is blue and yellow. So we're like opposites, right? And we've always been opposites. And like, Kiana, like you said earlier, the cool thing about this business is you get to do it with your family members, and now you're closer than ever. My sister and I, we weren't close at all. And then our dad got sick and he died, and we got sort of closer through that process. And he died right before I bought my kit in October of 2013. I bought my kit, and then I think I forced her to buy a kit like in February. And then I stacked her, which was not a good idea. I stacked her underneath a sort of friend that was starting and doing the business that was local to me. And I thought like, oh, Yvonne said she's never gonna do the business, but at least, you know, she'll probably order and get on here. So it'll help this new business person. So I stacked her under my level. She's my level 4. Don't. Sometimes you're gonna stack business, like family members under family members, and they will be level 4. But if you have like a really, like, I would never have Kiana stack her mom, Danielle, at level 4, right? Like Danielle's gonna be level 1. Aunts are gonna be level 2. Cousins are gonna be underneath that family leg. But never write someone off, even if they say they're not gonna do the business. Put people at your level 1, even if they're not saying they're going to, but if you know if they did the business, they would kill it. Put them on a level 1. Because you got to have those 6 legs, right? Like think long term, 6 legs to Royal Crown Diamond, even if that's not your goal now. It could be your goal at some point, and you want to kind of think of like each leg being its own circle of people. One leg is family. The next leg is like my kid friends' parents. The next leg is like husband's work people or your, you know, former work people. The next leg is like all your college sorority friends or whatever, like, right? Like think of like those circles of people and map it out and kind of think like, who's your dream team people and who are those people that are really connected or are the sharers, are the influencers within your friend group. Like if so-and-so says, you know, if Maribel says like, get these cute glasses that I got, aren't they awesome? And everyone's just like, oh, I want those. Like, where do I get them, right? And if you know, like she's the one, like everyone goes to for like fashion advice. If she's an influencer, then you probably want her to be like a top of the leg kind of person. And then think of the people that you both know that could be under that leg. But as you think about those dream team people that you don't have enrolled now, start following their social media. Start engaging with them on social media. Because when you engage in their social media, that algorithm means they're gonna start seeing your stuff too, right? I wouldn't contact them out of the blue and just be like, hey, I haven't talked to you in 15 years, but like, I would love to like talk to you about oils and invite you to my workshop. No, I would start that slow conversation and start rebuilding that connection. Like, hey, we haven't talked in 15 years. Like, what's up? Like, how are you handling? You know, I see you've got kids. Like, how are you handling? I'm going like that shit crazy. I don't know about you, but like, you know, like start that conversation and see how that relationship builds, and then they're going to start seeing your stuff in that 1-to-5 ratio. That's just a little drip, right? A little drip, and then you're gonna ask them, hey, what are you doing these days for work? And then they're probably gonna ask you, and then you can say, I'm doing this and I'm doing Young Living, or I'm doing Young Living. And they're gonna be like, what's Young Living, right? So like, just kind of get that conversation to like veer towards the topic eventually, right? And then just keep building that relationship with those dream team people. But yeah, Yvonne stacked her to level 4, and then she decided to do the business, and I was like, ooh, okay, great. But then she was in my leg 3. I did not need help in my leg 3. I was going for Diamond and Royal. And so, you know, I wasn't really stacking under her. I was enrolling people, but I was stacking under my legs 5 and 6 and feeling horrible because I'm like, I want to help my family here, but like, I also want to get to the rank that I want to get to. So which do I do first? And I was like, I got to get to the rank that I got to get to, then I can help her. So I'm helping her, but she's mostly doing it. She's doing it all on her own for the most part. But yeah, if I had stacked her at my level 1, I I have quite a few level ones that said they were going to do the business that ended up not doing the business, that end up just being check collectors, which is a thing, and I can be resentful about it, which I was, but I had to do like some work on that and be grateful for the fact that they were there at the time that I needed someone at the top of their leg. And they were willing to continue ordering 100 PV per month so they could be a leg, so that I could get to where I needed to get to. So yes, there are several people that are blessed with really good checks because I stacked heavily under them. But looking back, if I had put Yvonne at my level 5, I would have helped her be solid platinum. She would be solid platinum, maybe diamond even by now. But because she was at my level 4 in a leg that I didn't need help in, it wasn't the priority of my trajectory of where I needed to get myself to. And then even when I do start stacking under her, because she had some people she had as her level 1s, and then I was trying to help them, right? Like eventually I'm stacking under her and not even getting paid. So it's like, oh, like, you know, at this point, like I can handle it, right? Like as a Royal Crown Diamond, I'm making plenty of money. So it's fine. I'm helping her where I can and stacking beyond where I get paid. But lesson learned, if we hadn't have stacked her there and kept her a little closer or at level 1, things would have been different.
Okay, so with that said, what would your advice be to family members who are Yvonne's, who they are under someone like myself, who I'm not going to stop until I hit Royal Crown Diamond, and I want to bring them with me.
Yeah.
Just like you wanted to bring Yvonne with you. She was like, I'm not interested. You know, she had her full-time career as a therapist. And so, I mean, you know, I'm just saying, because I have 5 family members on this call right now. And so I don't know, like, what advice would you give them? And even the other people too, like how to speak to their family members. Like, look, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I can take you with me, bring you with me.
Mm-hmm.
If you.
I think for Yvonne, everybody has like a negative idea of what network marketing is, because we've all been at some person's network marketing party or whatever, and it was super like car salesy and right? And so I think people think that it's like that. And when she saw that Hello Essentials, our product education group, was not like that, and when she had a huge success with oils for her migraines, which she was taking like some crazy medication where she'd have to get like her liver kidney checked like every month, and like you could only get like a certain amount every month because it was like super toxic, and she's taking it every day, still having migraines. But when her migraines went away with the oils, and her doctor called her and was like, hey, Yvonne, I haven't seen you in a while. What's going on? Just want to check on you. And she was like, oh, yeah, I don't need the medication anymore. And her doctor was like, wait, what? That she was like, oh, I need to do this, because like that's life changing. So one, I would hope to help family members find that aha moment with the product. And if I could go back, so the cool thing about you, Kiana, is you do have family and friends. Because we were taught like never talk about the business, I didn't approach family or my personal friends about the business at all. So I have my oily family, and then I have a really core like friend group of non-oily people that my kids, you know, are friends with, and the parents that we've been friends with since my kids were like in preschool. And they don't oil, they don't want to oil. It's the weirdest thing. But I didn't talk to them about it. And I you know, that was just what we were taught. If I could do it over again today, I would have asked my BFF and certain family members and just been straight out and blunt and be like, dude, this is our ticket to financial freedom. Like, even if it took us 2 years to hit a rank from distributor to Royal Crown Diamond, at Royal Crown Diamond, the average, I'm not getting this, but close to it, the average income is $140,000 a freaking month. Like, there is no job on this planet unless like you go and become an NBA player. Like, and none of us are doing that, right? Like, none of us are gonna like start playing a professional sport all of a sudden. There's no job that's gonna get you from nothing to 100 grand a month. And even if you don't get to Royal Crown, even if that's not your goal, a silver, a gold monthly income, like $5,000 a month would be life-changing for most people, right? And that is a middle-ish rank. That is not extreme sacrifices of time and effort. It's just consistent work and doing what you need to do to keep sharing and duplicating it and having the people that you sign up share and enroll other people. Like, this isn't rocket science. It's literally you enroll people by educating them and solving a problem for them. 2, you get them on essential rewards. You show them the value of a wellness subscription box, of not having to go to the store, 5 different stores to get 5 different products. Just order it and get it shipped to your dang house, right? And get a percentage back in store credit and get free stuff and get whatever quarterly gift, right? And then duplicate, rinse and repeat. Do those 2 things. Have everybody do those 2 things. Educate and enroll. Get people on ER. And then do it again. And have them do it again. Like, it's a 3-step process. And there's 50 bazillion ways to do each part, right? Like, on Facebook, there's that Grow group that has so many amazing resources, like this amazing like knots and oils class of like macrame stuff, or like, you know, this blend, or like this whatever, right? There's like so many things and ways to share that it's incredible. It's an incredible opportunity. Like, it's not like it's all there for you. You just got to find your little niche of how you want to share and what you want to focus on and who your market person is, and then get those people going and link arms with your people and grow that community and have and delegate and get people to work with their strengths so that you're not doing it all. But man, like, I mean, you guys probably know Marceline, right? She's part of your upline. Her and her husband, Andre, they were working, do you guys know their story? Do they know their story? Okay, so they were working for this yoga company called Prana. It's like kind of like Lululemon, like big time, really well known within the yoga community. They're super environmentally conscious. And both of them worked there for years, and they were on salary, right? Worked more hours than they really needed to, gave their time, worked over like past regular hours, worked on the weekends, gave their blood, sweat, and tears to this company, and they thought they would be there forever. And Marceline got let go. No notice, no nothing, no warning, just got let go. And thankfully, she had a gold paycheck, gold, almost platinum paycheck. And she was kind of coasting. She was one of those people that started, and I stacked her really well, got her to silver, and then she kind of put a toe in and started growing and got herself to gold. But if she didn't have that gold income, they would have been in dire straits, right? So she got to gold, got let go, figured like, oh my gosh, I've got this plan B, thank God. Like, let's do this. Started growing to platinum. And then her husband, Andre, got let go. No notice. He thought he was going to be at that job forever. No warning. He like just got let go. And thank God they had plan B going, right? And they had the second income going. And the best thing about this business model, which is, yes, it's shaped like a pyramid, but every business is shaped like a pyramid. The CEO is always at the top, the janitors and the workers at the bottom, right? The difference with network marketing is you start at the bottom and you can get to the top. With every other job, it is not likely that the janitor is ever going to make it up to the CEO, right? And the cool thing about network marketing is you can start and you can outrank your upline. So there's people above me. There's probably like 25 people above me that go all the way back to like when Young Living started 27 years ago that are executive, that are gold, that are platinum. You would think everybody above me. I'm Royal Crown, my upline is Royal Crown, there's 2 Royal Crowns above them. But then there's like a platinum, and then there's a Royal Crown, but then like you keep going up, there's like a couple golds, an executive. Like they're fine where they are. They're not involved really in the business. They're collecting a nice check. But there are people that I've outranked that started years ago. So it's not about like getting in at the ground level with this business. You can start, there are people, especially if you know people internationally, like right now internationally, it's bananas. Like Leah, like you got your first Philippine kit sale. That's amazing. I'm so stoked for you. It's bananas over there. Like there are people that are ranking up in record time and beating like, you know, and in the Philippines, like making a diamond income, like that's like making millions here, you know, like in the Philippines, there's like third world country living there. So to think that like you could potentially be changing communities out there just by getting this one kit sale, and if that person shares, like it could have just such a huge ripple effect. So with this business, not only can you outrank people, but if you take 2 years to get from star to Royal Crown, like no job, no retirement plan, no amount of investing, no amount of playing the stock market will ever get you that kind of a raise in income. And the community that we've created with our team is like nothing you'll ever experience. Like I sure hope next year's convention is in person and that you guys can go. It is amazing to be in a room of 20,000 people that love oils, that get what you're doing, that know what Thieves is, and they love the products, and just the energy of it is just insane. And to be a part of that and to know that like you guys are helping to change people's lives, right? Like every time you sell a kit or sell an oil, like you are changing someone's life for the better. Like you're not just selling like cars or like whatever. Like if you're a car salesperson, like not shaming you, but I'm just saying like this is like health and wellness. Like you're helping people live a healthier life. That's helping them hopefully live longer and better and more with more vitality, right? Not just like getting older and in a walker or a wheelchair, but like getting older and living a vibrant life. Like that's the opportunity that we have for this business, is to give people that opportunity of living a life full of energy and vibrancy, of living their life to their full potential with these products. And then if you put the products and the business together, like it's a wham bam, thank you, ma'am, right? Like it's a home run. Like I don't know why anyone would not want to do this business. Yes, it's uncomfortable sometimes to talk to people about the products. And yes, you sometimes get rejected. And you keep going. If you know these products have worked for you, keep going. Because the no just means no right now. It doesn't mean no for forever. Stacy Malkus said no to me like 8 times till she had that lavender socks experience with her daughter. My sister said no to me adamantly. I will never, ever do a network marketing business. Never. I'm only buying this kit to help you. And now look at her. She's like growing. She sold her house in Fremont that was costing her a fortune. She's bought a house in Washington with cash. And now she doesn't have to work because her Young Living income is sustaining her. And now she's living her dream with her boyfriend, David, and they're building planter boxes and doing all kinds of like amazing, like homestead, like pioneer woman kind of things. And she doesn't have to worry about where her paycheck is coming because she knows she's going to get it.
Carol, how does someone not get distracted though? Life gets hard. We have our regular jobs. We have our kids. We have so many other commitments. How do we still build this business and not give up when so many distractions are thrown our way?
I think having your team, your crew of people is super helpful. What I found is that having that go-to person to vent to or to have your like pity party with and just be like, wah, wah, I'm feeling like quitting. Having that go-to person and knowing like that person's gonna like cheer you on and call you on your BS and like make you remember why you're doing this, what your opportunity is that you have, that you're sitting on. Like every single person in Young Living is sitting on a gold mine, right? Like the potential is there. And yes, life gets in the way. But the cool thing about it is if you get people using and falling in love with the products and getting on Essential Rewards, you could technically check out. You know, there are people that have gotten themselves to, you know, executive silver, gold, and they have a life circumstance that takes them away, that they cannot pay attention to their business. And the business keeps going because people are on ER and they're ordering. And the leaders that that person has poured into take up the slack and keep things going. It's not like a regular job where like if you need to take 3 months off, you're maybe lucky to get, you know, like family leave, but that's not gonna cover your, is your job really gonna be there when you get back? There's no guarantee, right? But if you needed to take 3 months off this job, you could communicate with the people that were your top leaders and tell them like, hey, I need to kind of back off and I need you to step up. They would probably do that for you, right? And hopefully you've got enough people on ER that are going to continue ordering what they're ordering on a monthly basis that guarantees a certain amount of income. That's called residual income, right? And that's the key to financial freedom, is having residual income. You do something once, you teach someone how to use oils, you get them on ER, you keep them loving their oils, that money keeps coming back. It's like Mariah Carey, right? She gets paid every single time her Christmas song gets played at Christmas. And that is the most played Christmas song ever. And every time it's played on the radio, she gets money. She sang it one time. She recorded it. It gets played bazillion times during Christmas time, but she keeps getting paid. And that's what this business does. You get people to fall in love with the products. You're helping them with their health and wellness. You're showing them that this is a lifestyle, getting rid of the toxins in their home, using all the household products, the supplements, the shampoos, all of this stuff, right? Not just oils, because oils is not the only thing we sell. We sell all sorts of things that then you don't have to go to the grocery store to buy. You can just buy it all. Like, we literally, everything in our house, except for our food, our produce, and like some hairspray, is Young Living. We've changed every single thing to be a Young Living product. I'm not a DIY person, otherwise I would have my own DIY hairspray. But yeah, like Cara said, like, let your money recycle. Like, this is the key to network marketing. And the cool thing about Young Living is we have the biggest payout. The company pays us the highest amount of commission out of any network marketing company. Our company is growing by leaps and bounds. And even before COVID, things were a little stagnant, but because we were growing internationally, we were one of the very few network marketing companies that was still having a trajectory up. A lot of other network companies were tanking in terms of numbers. So more and more people know about essential oils, so that just means the door is already open. It's just our job to educate them on why ours are different, why ours are better, why, you know, you don't want to use the crappy oils that have synthetics in it, and use all of our other products that are infused with essential oils. So it's a really good time to get into this, especially with COVID, right? Like, everybody wants to stay out of the doctor's office. So everyone needs to get some thieves and a diffuser and stress away, peace and calming and valor to deal with all the emotional stuff. The elections are coming up. Oh, yikes, right? Like, we need all the emotional oils to deal with what is going to be happening. Whatever way it goes, it's scary, right? Like, we need to be like pouring all of the essential oils on us October, November, through December. So like, be there for your friends and your family and share with them what we have, because what we've got is unlike anything out there. Not only talking about the products, but also the business opportunity, you know?
I don't know if anybody else has any questions. I'm sorry, I kept asking. Mom, you do?
I do.
Okay.
Carol kind of touched on it, but my question is, so we're pretty good about getting people on ER, but then there's keeping them on ER. Like, how do you approach them every month of giving them, like, we know there's products out there that they could every month order something new, and then by the time they get through that, they need that first thing again. Yes. But how do you present that to them?
How do you present it now?
Hope that they do it.
Okay, so what could you do differently?
Well, Kiana, I know Kiana has all these tools, so I guess it's just putting them into place, like the calendar where every month it has an idea of what new product you're going to use that month. Mm-hmm. And the postcards. I guess it's just putting into place. I was just wondering if there's something that you found that works more than something else of trying to.
It's still that relationship building thing, right? Like, sure, we can get people on ER, but are you checking in with them to find out what they bought that year? And then checking in with them later that month to follow up and say, like, how did you like that new product? So like, keeping that conversation going and letting them know, like, hey, you know, for your next month, like, if you have questions about products that you want to try, let me know, because I've tried a lot of them and I can give you like my honest opinion of like what I think would work for you, what didn't work for me, and what I don't, you know, that kind of thing. There's that one sheet of products you use. I love, it's a duplicate thing that you can get at the Shoppery, but there's also just like a single one that you can print out yourself. So you could send that to all of your people that are on Essential Rewards and say like, hey, fill this out, and then let's get on a FaceTime or a call, or like text me, like figure out like what color they are, right? Yellows are gonna wanna call you, reds are gonna text you. But have them check off like all those things, right? It's gonna show them like, oh wow, I use a lot of products. Because if you ask people like, well, you know, like, what do you want to switch and ditch in their house? They're gonna be like, I don't know, maybe hand soap? I don't know. But they're not gonna have like a whole inventory of all of the things that they use. And that transfer buying sheet allows you to show them, I use 50 products. Like, I might not use them every month, but then you can show them like, you have a Young Living product for every single one of those. So let's start like strategizing your monthly orders. How much is in your budget? Okay, what room do you want to start switching over? Your bathroom, your skincare, your laundry room? Okay, so if you want to do skincare, let's buy the Bloom skincare this month. You'll probably need that every 6 months. So don't worry about it. Next month, what do you want to focus on? Oh, shampoo, body soap, that kind of thing. Okay, you probably will need that every 3 months. And just so you know, the new website, the website is getting changed. Just hang in there. The website that we have is like piecemealed so poorly. It's hanging on by a thread, and they're doing their darndest to get a new platform that's going to be so much like Amazon, so much like Apple. It's going to be amazing. And that is going to allow people to plan out their ERs for the year. I don't know if that's public knowledge, but you guys got that. But yeah, so like that will be amazing to be able to sit down with someone with that transfer buying sheet and look at it and like put those products in so that people can just plug it in. Bloom every 6 months, shampoo every other month, Thieves every single month, you know, laundry detergent every 3 months, like whatever. Like it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like subscribe and save on Amazon, or like, you know, the subscription boxes like Grove Collective and like things like that. It's going to be amazing, and it'll help our businesses because we will be able to show people like, okay, make sure you're getting that like every couple months and whatever. Because right now it's kind of like willy-nilly, right? Like you put your ER and you're like, okay, well I need like a little bit more. Let me look at the oils. I guess I need that. Like I think I need that supplement. And then you go in your closet and you're like, oh crap, I got 5 of those, and they just ordered like 2 more, right? But now it'll, once we get that new system, you'll be able to see like a year or at least 6 months and put stuff in. But yeah, I would do that, Danielle. I'd use that sheet. I'd get that conversation going of like, okay, all of these products you can get, and you're saving more by getting them on ER than being on the Target Red Card, which just gives you a measly 5%, and you still have to deal with the parking lot and lines and masks in store and traffic and all of that, right? Or you can start by getting 10% back plus free stuff, plus just get it shipped to your house. And eventually, you know, within 4 months, you're getting 20% back. No credit card gives you that reward, right? The most that a credit card, 3% maybe, 5% on Target, Red Card, Costco doesn't even give you that good of a discount. So highlighting the discount of staying on it for the longer term and showing them the value of it, right? What is the value? Why would I want to get this auto ship? People are kind of like, I don't want to like commit, right? But you got to show them like, this isn't just oils. Like you're probably not going to go through your oils in a month. You know, I have bottles that I've had on my oil rack for, you know, the whole time I've been with Young Living, and there's still stuff in them, right? So it's not about the oils. The oils is what gets them in. And then it's our job to show them all of the other product categories and how valuable and good they are, how they're going to help people stay healthier because it's not inundating their organs with all the toxins and getting that bioaccumulation happening, and how they're also going to get eventually very quickly 20% back and free stuff and free credit and monthly promos, freebies, right? So it's like you got to keep showing them that and educating them about the value of essential rewards. If you just say like, yay, you got an essential rewards, woohoo! Like they're probably going to be like, well, I mean, like Young Living has, I think, 650 products. Like I can't even keep track of them, right? So how's a new person gonna be like, oh yeah, like I know what to get next month? They're gonna be like, oh, I'll just quit. Because they're like, oh. But if Danielle, if you're contacting them on a regular basis and you're like, what are you getting this month? Oh, you know, do you have any other issues you want to address? Let's figure out what other products you might have. Hey, I can be, like some people call themselves like their oil concierge. I will be your oil concierge or your wellness coach. You tell me what your issue is. I will figure out what you need. Tell me what your budget is, and I will help you save money. Buy this month, you know, and you can do the work for them so that they don't have to scroll through like the 80 different essential oil blends. You'll be able to be like, okay, your budget is this, and you're saying you want this oil for sleep. I can figure out blankety blank for you.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I have a quick question. So I've been spoiled. Kiana is awesome sauce for us. So I'm just gonna put it out there. She's awesome. So I think I signed up this year, but I was buying products last year. I really haven't done a whole lot of stuff that I know of, but I think I have been doing something, which is so weird to even say out loud. However, I'm a star. Yay. Okay, but my goal is to basically retire my job. I don't want to work there forever. I'm also a therapist in healthcare. I'm just kind of getting a little bit older. My joints can't take all of it, but my CBD oil is working. Thank you very much. I just want to know, like, what is the level to be to where you can let go of your current full-time. I know I'm working. I know I'm a mom. I know I'm like every which way. I have great support with our team, which is awesome, because also if I have any questions, I can go to any one of them. But I just want to get to a point where you said you did it in 2 years, 27 months. Okay, that's goals for real. But I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing along the way to get to the point where I can say, you know what, this is sustaining me, and now I can comfortably leave. And then not be worried that I made the wrong decision without saying I give up. You know what I mean? Right now, for me, everything is working, so I'm in it to win it. But I don't want to get to that point where you're like, this is just, I'm not making any more movement. Because sometimes you have momentum, and then it stops. And so I just want to know what's the level, number one, to get to retire my job. And then two, when you get to that moment of like, I'm doing too much, this is not working for me, but I'm still support my business. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So know that there's going to be ebbs and flows in your business. There are going to be times where it feels like you are not making any progress. And that is a time for doing some personal development, because you will get yourself to the level of your own personal development. So I know that in order for my business, I got to Royal Crown Diamond, but I had to do a lot of personal development once I got to Royal Crown Diamond, which felt completely like ass backwards, right? Because I got to the top rank, and then all of a sudden I'm like, what? I have to do personal development. I got myself to the top rank, like what's the deal? But I had to do that in order for my team to grow, because I had to learn that I was doing things as a red, right? And that I needed to learn how to lead in a different way, and how to be a different within myself, so that the energy within our team was different. So know that there might be ebbs and flows and times where it feels like you're not growing, but that's a time to like dive in deep within yourself. Second, I can't tell you what rank is perfect for you. I would recommend that you hang out with Kiana. Maybe you guys do Zoom or in person and look at the income disclosure statement and then figure out like what rank would be the life-changing one for you. Which one would it be? Maybe it's gold. Golds usually make about $5,000 a month. So then if you need to get to gold, then you back step to figure out, okay, so you're star. So just know by even getting to star, you're a badass, okay? Because there's 6.5 million members within Young Living. Not all of them are doing the business. But out of the people that are doing the business, which I don't know what that percentage is, but within the people that are doing the business, only 8% get to star or above. So you're already in the running to do big things, okay? But when you figure out, like if gold is the one, the rank that's gonna be the one where you can be like, peace out, done with the other job, I'm now gonna be like the owner of my own business and I'm gonna run with this full time. Then you look back and you figure out, okay, in order to get to gold, you need this many legs. And in each of those legs, you need a certain OGV, right? So in each of those legs, you need blank many stars or blank many senior stars. So then you look at your structure as a star, and then you think about, okay, you're gonna need 3 legs total to get to gold with an extra 1,000 outside of that. So ideally like 3.5, 4 legs, whatever. So who do I need to get to be my other 2 legs? I'm assuming you have at least 1 right now, right? As a star, maybe 2. But who do I need to get as my other people? Who are my dream team people? Or who can I who can I sign up family member? Maybe you haven't signed up family members. That can be the leg 2, top of the leg. And then you stack those other people. And who's gonna be my like 3, top of the leg person. And then you kind of break down like, okay, once I get those legs, who can I put underneath those people, or how can I help those people enroll people? How can I help them get to star or senior star so that they can get to a level that helps you get the OGV that you need to get to gold? Does that make sense? So you kind of break it down, break it down, break it down, break it down to like, how many stars do you need to get to gold? Because you know how to get to star. So you know what needs to be done to do that. So if you need to get to gold, I need blank many stars in 3 legs. And then start strategizing and thinking like, how am I gonna get this next person that I will help hopefully motivate to do the business to get them to star. Ideally, if you get people and they get to executive, and you get 2 executives, executive is 4,000. If you have 2 executives in each leg, that gets you plenty more than you need for gold and puts you in a really good place for platinum. So just kind of talk with Kiana about which rank, and then look at that comp plan to figure out like, what do I need? How many legs? And just start figuring out and strategizing by blank. If I want to quit my job in 3 years, then each year I need to get this rank. That means I need to get this much OGV. That means I need to get this many stars. That means I need to get this many business people that then turn into stars. So just break it down into those like manageable pieces, smaller bits, and know like you're not gonna have to do it yourself. Like you will not sustain yourself if you're just doing it all yourself. You wanna get your team growing under you of your like people that you want to run with, and start building those relationships and sharing about the products and getting them to see like, oh, this is a different Cara than I knew before. Because all of a sudden now she's like using like some weird thieves toothpaste or whatever. She used to use Crest, right? Like have the products in your house when they come over or whatever. When you meet with them, you know, if you do, like pull out a deep relief and like rub it on your neck or stress away or whatever, so that you're showing them like, this is an everyday life product, like, and then offer it like, hey, you want some? Like it's stress away. Like we need this. You need a little. Like you're looking kind of stressed.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. All right. Any other questions?
No question, but the part where you had mentioned about the family and just making sure that you bring, that's important to bring those core people on.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because between Kiana and I and Leah, sometimes we're like, hey, you're doing this. You don't have a choice. That's kind of like our little joke with each other. It's like when we find something good, we drag the other one, even if it's kicking and screaming,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of how, you know, I came on. You know, it was like, I brought them on to things before, and now they brought me into here. Because I'm like, nope, got a job, I'm working, don't have time. And Kiana's like, doesn't matter, just do it. Here, I'll help you. And so that's the beauty of this team. So it's funny to hear you, not funny, but to hear you say those things just reaffirms just, you know, how awesome this team is and the leadership is between, you know, with Kiana and Leah. It's definitely something that's very precious.
Yes.
And awesome.
Yeah, and just think like when you guys start going to retreats together.
Oh my God.
It's the best.
Oh yeah, Kiana already told us, because like when she got her, yeah, exactly, she's cracking up because I should read the text that she sent. I sent her, congratulations, great job, and she's like, the hell are you guys gonna get Frank? Because I'm not going alone. You're coming
No. She's. I think I said something about I achieved the silver retreat. So I'll be able to go to, and I was and Banshee was like, congratulations, like, oh, you guys better be there with me. I'm not going by myself.
It's like no options. It's like, let's go. Yeah. We're all going together.
But you talk about your dream team, and like Banshee was saying, a lot of our dream team people are already stacked, and they're not wide. But would you suggest that, like, I mean, people that you know, like, are people that, like you said, because if they're not doing that 100 PB order, that kind of not messes up your leg, but it makes it tricky when that person on the top isn't placing that $100 order. So when we come up with that dream team list, which I am totally coming up with tonight, do you stack them on when they eventually do come on board, are they your level ones?
Well, it depends. If they already are like in your family, then no, right? Like you want to keep family with family. You want to keep friends with friends, because you don't want a really close college friend at level 1 and another close college friend at level 2. And then they're competing because they have mutual friends. And maybe this friend started talking about oils, but this friend's the one that signs the person up. Then this friend's pissed off because this person stole their person, right? So even though it might not make sense in terms of stacking and how you're getting paid, it makes sense for cohesiveness of the team and no drama to keep putting those people that have mutual friends or have mutual family members relationships in the same leg.
So there's the order in which they decide and choose to join.
Right. I mean,
whoever joins sooner benefits, I guess, the best.
You don't have that power to control who signs up first and who doesn't, right? So sometimes it's just ends up being that like level 1 person's not really doing the business. Level 2 is the person that's like killing it and doing it. And you know, that's how it is. And there will always be stacking mistakes, but when you stack with what you know at that time, and then there will be times when you get further along in your business that you look back and you're going to be like, could have done that better, differently, whatever. And that's okay. It is what it is. We all have to deal with that. But in terms of thinking of your dream team, like think of those like pockets of your friends, right? Like your church friends, your college friends, your like high school friends, sorority girls, whatever. Like who's like the couple of them in each pocket that you could get them on board. That would be like one leg, another leg, another leg. Any other questions?
Leah, I know you have a question. Why is Leah silent? Maribel, man, anybody?
You say that. I like, and I'm.
What'd you say?
I said it's just because I like to talk a lot and I'm yellow. No, I mean, everything that she talked about is amazing. Like all the tips that you had for, especially social media, you know, was great with the post and the engagement. Because I struggle with that, right? And I'm more of like an in-person person. I love like interacting with people. I love finding a reason to help them. I'm not the informational person, which is what Kiana is, you know? And so that's why it's a good balance that way. And it also helps to know, like, as far as the stacking goes, because I've always wanted to stack like from here and then straight down, that at a certain point, and even though I knew this, having you hear you say it, like at a certain point, don't get commission and kickback from if it's too far down.
Right. But if it's family members, you got to just keep going down.
Right. I get that. But everything else, like I've always wanted to, because I'm a helper. I want to help that I love. But you said some people may, you know, you kind of kick yourself in the butt. I'm like, oh my gosh, I stacked you so heavy and you're not doing anything with it.
Yeah. So be mindful of that. That want to help other people by stacking them doesn't help them at all. Because
Right.
then they take for granted that they've been stacked. They get a little entitled and be like, hey, how come you're not stacking under me anymore? But you're like working on leg 2, 3, 4, and this is in leg 1, and you're like, well, I don't need to, right?
Yeah.
Or when they do start the business, you've stacked them so well, they are starting from scratch and they're senior star, executive, maybe silver. And then they're like that rank, but they really don't know how to lead, but then they're forced to lead because they're that rank and they have a team, but the team is something that you've built under them. So help, the kind of rule of thumb for stacking that I follow is like, get your level 1, right? Ideally stack a business person under that level 1 person for each level 1, if you can. So you might not know they're a business person right off the bat. So stack a couple people under each level 1 person. But once you know that someone's gonna do the business and you stack 1 leg, I don't stack another leg unless I need that leg at a certain OGV, right? So if I need leg 1, but leg 1 is doing well because I've got a business builder and they're doing all right, but I stacked a couple people, but I need to get to the next rank and leg 2 is the leg I need to focus on. I might just stack 2 business people at their level 2, right? But if this person on level 2 is saying, I want to do the business and they're motivated, I might just stack leg 1 leg. And that forces them to find their second leg, right?
Yeah.
But if I give them 2 legs that are business people and they're wanting to run, they might not be as motivated because I just gave them 2 legs. Whereas maybe I take that other business person and I start like 3. So stack with your head, not your heart. That is a key thing. Like you might want to help people, but you have to think of your long-term business plan and put yourself first to get to where you need to get to and strategize that way and think of what you need to do for your business. Yes, you're helping people along the way, but you don't want to just hand someone a silver platter, because then they're not going to necessarily be motivated.
Right. I can lead them to the water, but I can't force them to drink.
Right. And that will lead you to get resentful of them. If you stack 2 legs and they're getting going and you're ranking up and they're ranking up, but they're not really doing anything and it's all you, right? At some point you might get resentful, and that's not a good place to be. So you can always talk to Kiana. I'm always open. Ivana's always open. Marceline's always open to talk about like stacking strategy. So like if you get a kit sale or whatever, I always tell my personally enrolled, like when you get a kit sale, talk to me. Like let's talk out who this person is, how they might be related to anybody in your downline, what you know about their life. Let's talk this whole thing out so that we can figure out where to put this person. Especially once you have like 1 or 2 legs and you're kind of strategizing for yourself, it's really helpful to have somebody else that's been around for a while, that's done some stacking and had some stacking mistakes, to know like, let's put this person here. It does, like, I hear you want to put him here, but that doesn't really help you in the long term, because like if you're reaching this goal or whatever. So use your upline for those stacking tips.
Okay. All right. That means I'm calling you and Kiana all the time. I had another question, but I forgot now. Gosh dang it. It'll come back to me. I forget. Oh, that's what it was. So once I hit executive, and for those who don't know, once you hit executive, YL starts giving you these random, orders, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually had 2 that I've actually ordered multiple times already.
Awesome.
That was just going to be a one-time thing. And then one of them actually enrolled somebody.
Okay.
But then so I'm trying to reach out to her, but she hasn't reached out to me. So I wanted to know, like, in your past, have you had those randoms that have turned into business builders?
They didn't really do that much when I was building, so I didn't have much luck with that. But I have had people that have gotten randoms, and then they reached out, and those people have turned into business people. Yeah, so how have you tried to get a hold of her so far?
Just through email.
Okay, so text her.
That wouldn't be creepy?
You're an in-person extrovert, right? You're a yellow.
I am a yellow.
So think about it this way. She signed up, she didn't have an enroller. She doesn't have any connection with anyone, and yet she's still ordering, and she sold someone a kit, and she doesn't have any support. And look at all the support that you have and the resources that you have for your team. Would it be a disservice to her if she did not know that she was placed in this awesome team that you have? Yes or no? Yes. Right? So when you call her or text her or whatever, emails people don't really open, right? It probably went to her spam. But maybe text her, leave a voice message, like just a text voice message, and just introduce yourself. Hey, I'm Leah. I'm part of your Young Living upline. They placed you randomly. I, would love to like chat with you, get to know you better. I saw that you sold a kit. Congratulations. That's amazing. Like, just wanted to let you know we have like a whole team of support and resources. I would love to plug you in. Let me know how I can get in touch with you.
Awesome. This is recorded, so I will write that down for
Yeah, that's what I would do with any random placement. Because you're doing them a disservice, right? They found Young Living on their own. That means they're motivated, they're committed. That's the kind of person you want. A motivated, committed, motivated person, right? They found Young Living. They did the research on their own. They figured out how to get signed up, which can be challenging, as we know, right? So, you know, you've got someone that has potential right there. And the fact that she's ordered, reordered, and sold a kit, that's huge potential.
On it.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, Marianne, you went off mute. Was that on purpose? You could ask a question or comment or something?
No, I just want to say thank you for talking about the whole stacking piece and just the tips on social media. Was very helpful. The 1 out of 5 and just realizing, you know, what I'm putting out there, really what my target.
Uh-huh.
So that came in really handy.
Yeah, that Jasmine Star gal, she's super, like all the social media stuff, not the 1 in 5 thing, but everything else was her. Cause she's like, if you don't have a target, you're just like shooting in the dark, right? But if you have that one person in mind of who you're talking to, me is that mom, 50-year-old teenagers about to have an empty nest, searching for a healthier life. I know that that's the person I'm talking to. And that's who I'm writing to as if I'm talking to them in every post.
Okay, I have one more question. I don't even know if she's, hopefully she's still listening. She's still on. My cousin Haley, she's still in college. She loves the oils, uses the oils all the time whenever she's home. She's actually still home because she's not going back to school as of yet because of what's going on. But a lot of her friends could use support. But there's 2 issues. Money, of course, because they're college students. And number 2, I feel like, she doesn't want to offend people when let's say it's something with their skin that's going on. So it's usually hormonal, especially with young women that age. They usually have very painful periods, and you can, and there's other things going on.
Right.
And she knows oils could help, but does not want to just like, hey, I got something that would clear your skin up, because then that would be offensive.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for someone at that age and how to reach her demographic?
Yeah, so that college age demographic is amazing because that's like the generation that is seeing that the 9 to 5 corporate job forever and ever is not a thing, right? Like you're growing up, Haley, in the generation that knows like this is the forget what they call it, but like, the Uber, like the do-it-yourself kind of up and coming entrepreneur spirit kind of generation. So with Young Living, yes, it's expensive. Most college students aren't going to be able to afford it. However, if someone buys a kit and they sell 3 kits that same month, their kit is paid for, because every kit sale at the minimum, if they're just buying a kit, is $50 the next month, right? $50 for each kit sale. So $150, the kit's $160 plus shipping and tax. So they're paying maybe $40 or $50, but they're getting the rest of it paid for by their commission. I don't know many college students who don't need extra money, who wouldn't benefit from having a little extra money on the side. So that's another thing to kind of think about is, what benefit would it be to your friends to have a couple extra $100 per month, right? And to share. So with your friends that are dealing with like hormonal skin issues, of course, you don't be like, hey, your skin looks like crap, like use this product. But you can talk about like, oh my gosh, like hormones. Am I right? Like, dang, like these hormones, like it's messing with like all the things with and like own it, like with our skin, with our, you know, cramps and like whatever. And like, I am so thankful that my Aunt Kiana, you know, shared with me this Progessence Plus or like whatever it was that helps you with your cycle and your cramps or whatever. And just say like, you want to try some? Because like, it's just been a lifesaver for me. So it doesn't have to be like an insulting thing. It can just be like you are empathizing with them and sharing something that might solve their problem for them. But that college age, like that's a population that is not well represented in Young Living yet, right? But that, like I said, that generation of people are the generation that are going to be the e-commerce and entrepreneurial spirit kind of people. And this business fits right in with that.
She did mention something about being like a brand ambassador. I think that's what she called it. Like she had this really cool idea about college students being brand ambassadors for Young Living. I don't know much about that. That's not my forte at all, but yeah.
Yeah, Young Living does have some brand ambassadors. But in my mind, it doesn't really make sense to be a brand ambassador because you're getting paid a little bit, but the money really comes from having a downline and being paid to share, and then having the hashtag sponsored makes it look like a commercial, right? It's not an authentic, heartfelt testimonial. Even if it is, if it has hashtag sponsored, I'm going to be like, they just got paid for that. I don't know if they're really selling that, right? So brand ambassador is a thing, and people get paid to do that for companies. And Young Living has some. They haven't, I personally don't think that having brand ambassadors for Young Living has helped the company get more brand recognition. They've had like a couple, we have a brand ambassador that's like a decathlon athlete, Brian Clayton, who won like gold medals, but nobody knows who he is, really, unless you are an athlete that does the decathlon, you know, or was alive and really watching the Olympics when he won. So having him be a brand ambassador, yes, it helps in terms of he's truly an athlete and he uses and loves the product and he's building a business. But he actually chose not to be a paid brand ambassador anymore because he wants to build a business and he wants to just focus on like actually building and pouring into his team versus like doing ad kind of work for Young Living.
I'm responding to you and I'm on mute. I'm just like nodding. So I don't know if you can hear me, see me, but I'm like, I know it feels like you're talking to yourself, but those are all the questions I had. I know it's, my husband took my phone and plugged it in somewhere, so I don't know what time it is. So I don't want to keep you over, you know, too late, but I don't know if anyone else had any questions. I don't. That was amazing. Thank you. I have my to-do list ready to go. Starting with my dream team.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to start putting that energy out and the intention of like finding those people, motivated, self-motivated, hardworking, know a lot of people or are influencers, the kind of people, they might not know a lot of people, but they might be the kind of person that like, if they say, go get something or go to that store or whatever, people listen. So those are the kind of people that you want at your level one, ideally, or doing the business with you, ideally.
So I have one more quick question. So I know of two people that were very successful in other network marketing, but I don't know how to approach them because already they're both saying, I'm not going to do that. And they were very high up where,
Like
so I don't know if they just
Pink
got,
Cadillac high up.
yes.
Mhm.
So I don't know if they're just, and I haven't had that conversation with them of why you were so good at doing this, or what happened in that they aren't doing it anymore.
Mhm.
Or they just got burnt out because it probably took a lot to get to that level in that network marketing, more
Mhm.
so than it would take in this one. But any suggestions on how to like?
Yeah, well, why haven't you asked them?
I'm ready to after tonight.
I
Just
would want to know that, right? I would want to know why
yeah,
aren't they?
yeah.
So Sarah Yeh-Garner, who is in corporate at Young Living, used to be at the top of Mary Kay as a distributor. And then she quit because things changed in the corporate sphere of Mary Kay. And she did not feel comfortable ethically and morally being a part of that company. That's how she left. And then she started working for a couple different network marketings in the corporate side. And so she's like the US regional manager. So that's who she is. But yeah, I would want to know why they left, because they walked away from a big chunk of money. Why? And then you'll know how you can approach them with what makes Young Living different. Right? But without knowing why they left, what struggles did they have, that must have been a really hard decision, because they did work hard to get to that point. So knowing why will help you know how to come back to them about, well, no, you got to know, like, Young Living is completely different. Let me show you. Look at this group. Look at that. Look at this. This is what we have. And I would love for you to be part of our team, because you already know how to do this. And we're doing it differently and better, and our team is rocking it. Let's do this. Like, come on our team.
Okay.
Yeah, because if they already know network marketing and they've been successful, then there's no stopping them once they get in this.
Right.
Because when you think of like Mary Kay, it's makeup and skincare. I mean, not, you're gonna buy it, but like, are you gonna, maybe there's some people that are gonna buy it for the rest of their life, but you're not buying it every month. But probably they had people that got on their auto ship that bought every month so they could keep their discount, right? Ended up with a closet full of Mary Kay products that they're not using. Young Living's not like that. You don't have to buy every month if you don't want to. And if you do buy every month, it's only a $50 minimum, right? It's not like you're not going to end up with a closet full of stuff you're not using, especially if you have an upline and enroller that's helping and teaching you about products, right? So there's a huge difference in just what we offer versus what Mary Kay offers, right? And after a while, if you're just slinging the same thing over, and maybe the newfangled skincare and the newfangled, another skincare thing and another makeup thing, you might get kind of bored, right? It might not be fulfilling to do. I don't know. And so, like, that might be part of their answer of why they left. And you can show them, like, this is completely different. This is health and wellness. This is a product line that is exciting. We get new products like almost quarterly, right? And stuff that like people actually need and use. Consumable products, not things that people are just going to buy like once every 6 months, not stuff that's going to get stuck in a closet forever. And you get to help people stay healthy.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank
That
you,
was
Kara.
great.
You are the best for doing this. Seriously.
Thank you so much. I've been having side conversations on text with some of the girls that are on here. You don't see it, but they're pumped and motivated.
Oh, good.
Hours to put into this business. It's amazing. Inspiring all of us.
Oh, good. Yeah, you guys, it's so worth it. And I'm not just saying it because, like, this is beyond what you could imagine. Like, it's life changing in so many ways. It's so worth it to work hard and do what you need to do to get to the highest level that you want to get to in this business. And the chances that you get to go to the farms and see the whole process, and the ability, like every time you go on a diamond retreat, they take you to a farm and you get to usually do something with the foundation, which is our nonprofit thing. And so like it's like the most rewarding job you could ever have, right? Like you get to help people with the products, you get to help your team find financial freedom, but also have personal growth and become better people. And you get to grow this amazing community of family within Young Living. And then you get to see each other when you get to go to these events, and it's like a big family reunion, and it's just so much fun. So I am stoked for you guys. I know you guys are gonna kill it. And let me know how else I can help you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carol.
All right.
I'll be talking to you within the next few days,
Okay.
before I puke and rally on Tuesday.
Yeah. Our new
Oh my goodness.
manager. So stoked.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We have a lot of work to do.
It'll be easier now though.
Yeah. Thanks again, Carol. I really appreciate this.
You're welcome. Happy to do it.
All right.
Okay.
Have a good
Thank
night,
you.
everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.